lies.
There's no, I mean, no
Yeah.
lies. I mean, maybe lies internally, but yeah, I think the lights and metaphorically, I think it was just more so. It had so much to do with perception. Um, just this constant focus on what I look like and what I feel like to the world, and I needed to. I stopped. I didn't even know at that point what I felt like and what I looked like to myself. There was a real like stripping down process that had to happen, and it took me a long time, but up until like I would say like the creation of this album, I don't remember the last time I felt so like just myself. Probably the last time was when I was like 9 or 10,
Wow.
honestly. Yeah.
What was it about 9 or 10 that felt so true?
Not having the need to like cover the layers of what I was feeling. I was just like an expressing ball, like similarly to how I probably like more emotional today, similarly to how I was when I was 9, and yeah, I guess just that not having the words and the stories that you've been told, as you start to grow up, spinning in my head and just expressing truth of who I am. And
Mm.
I'm lucky too, man. Like I know that a lot of people, they're not surrounded by people who are maybe super accepting or embracing of that truth. And I know that's hard. And I think I have a lot of compassion for that. And the reality is that I wasn't around a lot of people who were. And I think part of starting to just like strip back those layers is also to just maneuver the people you're around in your life and starting to be around people who you can be like that with. And it just becomes kind of a feedback loop of
Mm.
positive, honest reinforcement. And then, you look around one day and you're like, oh, all these people in this room like really love Shawn.
Walk me through that discomfort, because I think it's easy to jump from like a cancelled tour to I'm in the studio making new music, and we both know it wasn't like that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like, walk me through. So one thing in the discomfort you're saying is surrounding yourself with people that allow you to be yourself,
Yeah.
allow you to be and figure it out. What else were like really important kind of principles that guided you through that no man's land, through that desert of time? What was it for you that kind of showed you that North Star when things were dark?
So many things. Like, I think the process of like healing and moving through a dense moment in your life is not just sticking to one thing. It's really using everything at your fingertips. And whether that was therapy or whether that was like friendship or it was reading or it was music or what it was, it was just a mixture of all of it. And I think the hardest thing for me in my life has been this kind of wanting to always have the perception of like strength and all together and kind of grounded and still, And when I started to like allow myself to really, I think it's like you got to really feel pain to like let your ego get out of the way. When I started to really allow myself to like lean on my family and my friends and also like just reach out to people and be like, that was just such a huge part of
Mm.
it. I didn't know at the time, but just using the people around me to support me was a huge part of it. And yeah, not and being open to not knowing how to get through it and just letting people maybe help me how they can, and they might have their own way. And yeah, the people, there's a song on the album called Heavy, and it's
Mhm.
just so much of it is just about letting people who love you help you. You know, it's a hard.
Mm.
People talk a lot about it's hard to give love. It's hard to be in that state. But man, like receiving love, like when love is in front of you and it's trying to give itself to you through someone, that's a hard thing to receive. It's really hard. You know, a lot of people, including myself, just like want to freeze up. And so my new thing is kind of like, instead of walking into a room when I'm feeling bad, holding it, the first thing I'll do is just like literally like lean on someone, like physically, like, hey, can I have some love? And I need it. And that changes it, like shifts so much, you know?
Yeah, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like, I remember in the beginning when we'd hang out, if you weren't feeling good, there'd be a part of you be like, I don't think I want to hang today.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that switch of what you're saying where it's like, oh no, no matter how I feel, I need to lean in. And I love that. And
that's freeing. Like if I can only hang out with you when I'm feeling still and at peace and coming from a very high perspective, I am like, I got 3% of the time, you know, like, and I think even for doing something like this podcast, I mean, when we first met each other, I used to be like, oh, I got to get to this degree of, you know, calm and understanding of life. And the reality is I don't have a deeper understanding of life. I just have a deeper acceptance of self. And that allows me to sit here and be like, hey, like, here it is. This is what we got, you know? And that has changed everything to me. It frees you from so much, you know? You can kind of just be like, hey, that's actually a huge part of it. I used to, before I would get out of a car and go into a social situation, or before I just would say like, I'm moving as fast as I can. I cannot be healing any quicker than this. This is it. I'm here. So let's be this, you know?
Yeah. And it trips us up. I feel like we're trying to be something we're not, or trying to be something we're not feeling.
Yeah.
We're trying to feel something we don't genuinely feel in the moment, whether it's us trying to be more confident, trying to be more calm, trying to be more, whatever else it may be, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And it lets us down. And I wonder,
letting yourself down too.